Greetings, dear listeners, and welcome to this special episode of Seed of Unity, the podcast of the Holy Union Sisters, Cameroon area. We are reflecting today on the historic and grace-filled visit of the Holy Father, Pope Leo XIV, to Cameroon from April 15 to 18, 2026. A shepherd walking among his people, a father visiting his children, a voice calling a nation back to what truly matters. During these few days, the Holy Father journeys through three important cities: Yaoundé, Bamenda, and Douala. In Douala, his message is practical, a call to action. Give them something to eat yourselves. It is a challenge not to remain spectators, but to become active instruments of love, to feed the hungry, to care for the poor, to lift those who are struggling, to respond to the needs around us with compassion and responsibility. In Yaoundé, the theme resounds: peace and justice have met. This was a reminder that true peace cannot exist without justice, and justice, when lived in truth and integrity, gives birth to lasting peace. Here, the Holy Father calls leaders, institutions, and every citizen to walk in righteousness, to break the chains of corruption, to build a society where dignity is respected and fairness prevails. While Yaoundé and Douala have offered us strong calls to justice and charity, Bamenda carries a very special weight: a cry for peace, a need for healing, a message that touches the heart. To help us enter more deeply into this experience, I now invite Sister Charlotte and Sister Lisette to share their impressions from Bamenda. Sister Charlotte, what can you say about the visit of Pope Leo XIV to Bamenda, and how did you experience caring for the population in such a significant moment?
Thank you so much, Sister Veronique, for that question. Honestly, the Pope's visit to Cameroon, and particularly to Bamenda, was a very moving experience, both spiritually, professionally, and socially. What made it so special is that this was the first time a Pope had ever visited the Anglophone heartland of Cameroon. For those of us who live and work in the Northwest region, who have witnessed so much pain and fear over the years of this crisis, his presence was a great consolation to us, and that alone felt like a miracle. Being part of the healthcare team, we had to be fully prepared for emergencies. The Pope's arrival in Bamenda drew hundreds of thousands of people from different walks of life. This was the largest public gathering seen in the years. So, you can imagine, our teams were on standby ready to respond to any medical needs in the crowd. We were caring for people in the middle of a historic event. And what touched me most was the Pope's message. He urged us all to see ourselves as builders of peace, encouraging forgiveness and reconciliation in a region still deeply scarred by violence. As healthcare workers, that is exactly what we try to do every day. We do not ask whether you are Anglophone or Francophone, whether you are Christian or Muslim, whether you are a believer or non-believer. We simply care for the human person in front of us. Pope Leo said, "I am here to proclaim peace, yet I find it is you who are proclaiming peace to me and to the entire world." He equally asks us to be like oil poured out upon the wounds of our brothers and sisters. When I heard these words, I felt he was also speaking to every nurse, every doctor, every healthcare worker in this region who has continued to show up and serve even through the darkest times. It reminded me that our work is not just medical, but also a ministry of peace. The Holy Father, in his address held at the St. Joseph Metropolitan Cathedral in Bamenda, equally said, "Let us move forward courageously without losing heart, and above all together, always together, let us walk together in love, searching always for peace." My prayer is that the words of the Holy Father will not just remain on our lips or on social media platforms, but rather that it will take flesh in our lives, that we will be able to reflect deeply on all that he said during his visit to Cameroon and take concrete actions that lead to peace and justice, and each of us at his or her own level. Thank you.
Sister Charlotte. Now, Sister Lisette, can you share your experience of the Pope's visit to Cameroon, most especially to Bamenda, where you were? What touched you most, and how it has influenced your faith and mission?
Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to share what touched me most or what impressed me during the Pope's visit in Cameroon. The first thing is that I am so happy that I took part in this occasion. And the Pope's visit to Cameroon is remembered as a moment of grace and encouragement for the local church and to me as a person. What touched me most is a strong call to live the gospel authentically. He emphasized, especially during his visit in Douala, that the church, especially the young people, we should be the good news to our country, that we should be instrument of peace. And he also emphasized that to live this gospel authentically, we must make peace, we must reconcile, and we must be of service to everyone that we meet. He equally reminds me that faith must be visible in my daily actions, and equally to the entire church of Cameroon. And this continues to influence my mission today by encouraging me to serve others with humility, promote unity around me, and to remain committed to the truth and love in whatever I do, especially at my ministry. To be the good news to those I encounter each day at my ministry. To be that person that when met with others, the others will see love, they will see peace, and they will feel at home. So I am so happy that I took part in this event, and this has marked me most, and I will remain grateful for this visit. It is an event that I will never forget in my life, and I pray to Almighty God that through His message He passed to us, we might be able to implement all of this and for peace to reign once more in our beloved country, Cameroon. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sister Charlotte and Sister Lisette. Your testimony brings us closer to the reality on the ground and help us understand that peace is not just a message we hear. It is a gift we must receive, protect, and share. Today, Cameroon has been visited not only by a shepherd, but by a message that calls each of us to transformation. The question remains, what will we do with what we have received? Peace has been given to us. Now, let us go and live it. Thank you for listening.